Hello students, welcome to the biology class. Today we are going to continue with our chapter breathing and exchange of gases. So today we are going to discuss the gas exchange. Exchange of gases occur between the alveoli and blood and tissues. So this is the alveoli which are being surrounded by the network of capillaries through which the exchange of the gases takes place. So alveoli are the primary site of exchange of gases. They are also being known as the structural and the functional unit of the lungs through which the exchange of the gases, that is O2 and CO2, takes place by simple diffusion. So factors influencing the exchange of gases, they depends upon the pressure concentration gradient, solubility of the gas, thickness of membrane, surface area of respiratory membrane, that is your lungs. So factor influencing में first factor we are taking, that is the pressure and the concentration gradient. The individual pressure of the gas in the gas mixture is called partial pressure. Partial pressure of O2 and CO2, that is PO2 and CO2, they are being given below, that is atmospheric air 159 is O2 and 0.3 is CO2. In alveoli, that is 104 and 40. Deoxygenated blood, that is 40 and 45, whereas oxygenated, in which the oxygen is there, that is 95 and 40, and in the tissue we are having 40 and 45. So this is the alveoli. So that is alveoli air is 104 and of the oxygen and 40 of CO2. So that is you can say the pressure concentration gradient, that is PO2 in alveoli is more than that in the blood capillaries. So O2 diffuse into the blood capillaries. Whereas PCO2 in deoxygenated blood is more than that of the alveoli. So CO2 diffuses to the alveoli because of the difference in the pressure gradient or the concentration gradient. Next is the solubility of the gases. Solubility of CO2 is 20 to 25 times higher than O2. So the amount of CO2 that can diffuse through the diffusion membrane per unit difference in the partial pressure is much higher than the O2. So solubility different, this is O2 and CO2. So there CO2 shows more solubility as compared to the O2. So thickness of the membrane. So diffusion membrane that is surrounding your alveoli or the cavity is made up of three layers. That is, number one is squamous epithelium of alveoli. Then that is the endothelium of the alveolar capillaries, and that is a basement membrane between them. Its total thickness is only 0.5 micrometer. It enables easy gas exchange. So that plays again a very important role in the exchange of gases. Next is surface area of respiratory membrane, that is the lungs. The surface area of human lung is equal to the tennis court. So the presence of alveoli increase the surface area of the lungs and it increase the exchange gases. So next, a very important topic is your gas transport, that is from alveoli the O2 to the blood and O2 to the body organs, and CO2 from body organs to the blood and from blood to the alveoli, and then it will be exhaled out. So it is the transport of respiratory gases O2 and CO2 from alveoli to the systematic tissues, that is your body parts, and vice versa. So O2 transport from lungs to the tissue in the physical solution, that is the blood plasma, or as a oxyhemoglobin form, whereas CO2 transport from tissues to the lungs in the form of carbonic acid as carbinohemoglobin and as bicarbonate. So in the physical solution, that is the blood plasma, 3% of O2 is carried by dissolving in the plasma, whereas 97% of O2 is transported by hemoglobin, that is a red color respiratory pigment, iron containing pigment on RBCs. So that is in the form of the oxyhemoglobin, that is bound with the oxygen bound with the hemoglobin, that is known as the oxyhemoglobin. In that form they are being transported. So as oxyhemoglobin, that is the transport of O2 takes place, oxygen binds with hemoglobin in the reversible manner to form the oxyhemoglobin. This is called as an oxygenation. Hemoglobin has 4 heme units, that is they are having a 4 heme units. So each hemoglobin molecule carry the 4 oxygen. So BH4 plus 4O2, that is high PO2, low pressure, partial pressure of CO2 in the lungs, they combine to form the oxyhemoglobin. So binding of O2 depends upon the partial pressure of oxygen, which should be high, and the partial pressure of CO2, hydrogen ion concentration, and temperature. In alveoli, there is a high partial pressure of oxygen, low partial pressure of CO2, lesser hydrogen ions, and the lower temperature. So these factors, they favor the formation of oxyhemoglobin. So in tissues, low partial pressure of oxygen, high partial pressure of CO2, high hydrogen ions concentration, higher temperature exists. So oxyhemoglobin dissociates to release the oxygen to the tissues. Every 100 ml of oxygenated blood can deliver around 5 ml of O2 to the tissues under the normal physiological conditions. So this is the oxyhemoglobin dissociation curve that gives the shape of the S-shaped curve, means it is a sigmoid curve obtained when the percentage saturation of hemoglobin with O2 is plotted against the partial pressure of oxygen. It is used to study the effect of factors like the partial pressure of CO2, hydrogen ion concentration on binding of oxygen with hemoglobin. Next is the transport of gas, that is CO2. In tissues, partial pressure of CO2 is high due to the catabolism, and the partial pressure of O2 is low. In lungs, partial pressure of CO2 is low and the partial pressure of oxygen is high. This favors the carbon dioxide transport from tissues to the lungs. So in 3 forms it is being transported: as the carbonic acid, as carbinohemoglobin, or as a bicarbonate. So as carbonic acid, in tissues 7% CO2 dissolve in the plasma water to form the carbonic acid and carried to the lungs. So CO2, that is H2O, water present in the plasma, that is from tissue, and they are being transported as the carbonic acid. So in tissue, 20 to 25% of CO2 binds to the hemoglobin to form the carbinohemoglobin. So this is CO2, this is hemoglobin. In the tissues, they form the carbinohemoglobin. In alveoli, CO2 dissociates from carbinohemoglobin and released out. About 70% of CO2 is transported by this method. RBCs contain an enzyme, carbonic anhydrase. It is slightly present in the plasma too. At the tissue site, it facilitates the following reaction, that is CO2 plus H2O in the presence of enzyme carbonic anhydrase. They form the carbonic acid and they form the bicarbonate plus hydrogen ions. So in alveoli, the above reaction proceeds in the opposite direction, leading to the formation of CO2 and H2O. So again they will be back to the CO2 plus H2O, and then this CO2 is being released out. So every 100 ml of deoxygenated blood delivers about 4 ml of CO2 to the alveoli. Next is how the regulation of respiration takes place. So regulation of respiration, that is in brain there are the following respiratory centers, that is respiratory rhythm center, pneumotactic centers and chemosensitive centers, which is present in the medulla oblongata, pons and the medulla oblongata. They are the main respiratory centers. So respiratory rhythm center, that is inspiratory and expiratory, that is seen in the medulla oblongata. It regulates the respiratory rhythm, that is inspiration and expiration. Next is pneumotactic centers seen in the pons. It moderates the function of respiratory rhythm center. Impulse from this center reduce the duration of the inspiration and thereby alter the respiratory rate. Chemosensitive areas seen adjacent to the rhythm center. So here that is a chemosensitive area. Increase in the concentration of CO2 and hydrogen ion activate this center, which in turn signals rhythm center. Receptors in the aortic arch and the carotid artery also recognize a change in the CO2 and hydrogen concentration and send the signal to the rhythm center. Role of oxygen in the regulation of respiratory rhythm is quite insignificant. Next is your disorders of respiratory system. First is asthma. It is difficult in breathing, causing the wheezing due to the inflammation of bronchi and bronchioles. Next is emphysema, damage to the alveolar walls. It decreases the respiratory surface, and the major cause of that is the cigarette smoking. Occupational respiratory disorders. Certain industries produce so much dust, so defense mechanism of the body cannot cope with the situation. Long exposure causes inflammation leading to the fibrosis and it results in the lung damage. Workers in such industries should wear the protective masks. So with this we finish our chapter, that is the breathing and the gas exchange, and that is very important chapter. Go through this, consult your NCERT for the same. Till then, stay home, stay happy. Thank you and have a nice day.